Hello, you're watching Avenue X, and today I want to talk about two 爱奇艺 web dramas that have both finished technically on today that I'm filming this video. And for both dramas, I have similar reaction, which is extremely lukewarm. The type of you can watch it, you probably wouldn't feel you've wasted too much of your life, and there are certain parts of those two dramas that you probably would enjoy, but overall unimpressive, and likely for you to forget about them completely after a while. These two dramas being 唐人街探案2 Detective Chinatown 2 and 紫川 Eternal Brotherhood. 24 episodes, technically the first part of this whole drama. For the Detective Chinatown drama, it started with Detective Chinatown film back in 2015, which already had 3 movies in theater. Then for 紫川, it's a web novel that got adapted to an anime, and it's overall a fantasy style story that's more based on the Western style of fantasy, and then it got made into this live action version, technically having 48 episodes in total. The current finished airing version is only its first half. If I'm only looking at entertainment value, how much fun I've had watching these two dramas, I would put them very much around the middle point of my scale. In many ways, by no means bad productions. There are a lot of crappier productions in Chinese dramas, so it makes it a really sad situation where I recognize both dramas have their merits, but then they just aren't good enough. And I don't think many people are watching either of them. Somehow I watched both, so I thought just to put my ideas out there for you to use as a reference point. For no particular reason, just because in a linear time universe we have to start with something, let's talk about Detective Chinatown 2 first. This drama is 16 episodes compared to its first season 12 episodes, and that was when 2020. And for Detective Chinatown, that's pretty much helmed by the producer, writer, director Chen Sicheng. It started with a bang back in 2015 with the film release that was led by Wang Baoqiang and Liu Haoran. And then 2018, they moved the whole story from Thailand to New York, and then 2021 to Tokyo. The 2021 film should have happened during Chinese Spring Festival 2020, but we all know what happened in the world that year, so that whole film got delayed for a whole year. Now, while the film IP was going on, they created a second IP, the drama version on web, still produced by the same team, featuring some reoccurring characters in the film world and also in the drama world. I remember when the first series of drama came out, I really liked it, apart from the last case. I love the character played by Qiuze Li Mo. I had a blast, and I had high hope for this IP to keep going with the film world tangling, creating its own universe. Unfortunately, I don't think things pan out the way that the producer himself and also the whole cinema world in China hoped it could become. The third film got criticized a lot compared to its first 2 films. Although it did pretty well in box office, the IP kind of is dying off. I think because of COVID happened, it really messed up everybody's schedule of this IP world creation, so that supposedly, I think ideally, the first season of drama version, second season of drama version, and the 3 films will happen in perfect, at least in their head, time so that things connect, characters are on the same pace. But it's 2024 now, and we only get to see the second season. That was actually started moving back in 2021, and they filmed it in 2022. And if you are not an expert of this universe, you will be very confused about the timeline. What happened before what, and what is the sequential things of the 3 films and the 2 dramas. The second season of Detective Chinatown still starts with our main character played by Qiuze Li Mo, the detective who has super sense of smell, and he used that to break cases. But the second season is a bit different from the first one, because first one he would be the definitive lead character. The second season he's only in it in half. 16 episodes, 4 cases, 4 episodes per case. He's in the first 2. And for the next 2, he shows up in a phone call that you don't even see his face, and then that's it. The second half of the drama is actually led by the character Kiko that you would see in the film version, also in the drama version, played by the actress Shang Yuxian. I mean, I don't have any problem with her. She's actually a pretty okay actress. The cases are not boring either, but I didn't know this was gonna happen, right? Going into the drama, I thought it's still gonna be Qiuze-led drama. He's the male lead, and he is only for half, and then he just disappears. So if you are thinking you're gonna get 16 episodes of Qiuze, you will only get 8. As for the cases quality, I'd say they're okay, but they're not as exciting as the first season. The interesting thing about the 4 cases we get featured in the second season is they're all very, very closely related to what is going on right now in the world. The first case happens in an asylum of a mental hospital situation. And if that is like more of a classic closed off space detective story, then the second one, it's talking about particular cult, a type of thing that's actually really rampant everywhere. It just happens to be that in cinema right now in China, the film 周处除三害, led by Ren Jingtian, is being screened and getting really good responses. And in that film, it also centers around this big cult following thing, and our male lead character has some epic shoot up scene in that film, and it almost looks identical to the setups, to the characters, and to the way the cult functions in the film as in this drama that's going on right now. So it just happens to be universe plays this synchronicity thing. If you go in, watch the drama on iQIYI right now, when you go to those 4 episodes, the second case, you'll constantly see Ren Jingtian's character names being mentioned in the live comments. People who have seen the movie are calling him to come into the drama and to shoot up the scene because a very similar situation. So that's really funny. But also it means the topic and the cases they picked for the drama is actually really relevant to what's going on right now in the world, and in a way almost predicting future. The third case probably is the most impressive case to me. It is focused on something that's oddly hot right now this year, starting with January. It is a mixture basically of the Epstein Island trafficking of young girls type of situation with the couple of years ago really hot South Korean The Nth Room. Just Google them if you don't know about them, right? It's hard to think that if you're watching YouTube and you don't know any of those. But that case is a blend of the West and the East. I was like, wow, this is so written with laden reference. Literally all the culprits and every bad people in this case, you know exactly who they're based on in reality, and that person actually exists. And then the last case is, again, coming back to a more classic detective murder breaking case, but it's related to digital payment, digital currency, it's literally called WePay. It's like, how far is that from WeChat? This drama, although it's made 2 years ago, it's actually super relevant now. So they have this really sensitive antenna of feeling for what might be hot topics, and they write the story around those topics. And all in all, you can see that people are really clever and they know what they're doing behind the scenes, making the 2 drama series and the 3 films. But reality sometimes happens in ways that completely messes up your timing and your schedule of anything, so that turns out to be nobody's watching the drama, and popularity that Detective Chinatown, this IP, had a couple of years ago, right now is kind of completely dissipated. I had high hope for this IP, but right now, I don't know. It's kind of a live case that's still being broadcasted and still developing. You don't know where it's gonna end, of you can never plan really for the future, because future can at any time throw you completely off track. So my verdict on Detective Chinatown Series 2 is it would be something that's still worth you checking out a bit. And then don't have too high of a hope for the detective story quality. But then the fact that it's so on pulse of what's going on right now in the world, I'm still very impressed, even though the drama is completely, I think, off target on time and on their plan of everything. Somehow, 2024 March, it's still eerily relevant. Then let's move on to Zichuan Eternal Brotherhood. The drama is led by Yang Xuwen, Liu Yuning, Zhang Mingen, plus a lot of old actors who are very famous. When you see them, you'll know them. They're in everything, and they're very good actors. The novel it's based on isn't so old. It's a relatively recent. It got made into anime back in 2021. It's still ongoing. And if you look at the anime, you'll know it is not a Chinese xianxia or Chinese fantasy. The best way to think about that would be having all characters played by Chinese people with Chinese faces. They're dressed in a mixture of Chinese traditional ancient costume with the Western style stuff. The world setup in the story is more like Game of Thrones / Lord of the Rings. So you would have the supernatural element of Lord of the Rings, of people who are having superpowers, although very little. Literally different species of people and existence, and they divide the world into different continent parts. So that is more the Game of Thrones stuff. In this drama, just as Detective Chinatown 2 airdropped on iQIYI with zero promotion. I guess iQIYI just these days have completely given up on promoting any of their stuff. So they're just gonna throw dramas out randomly. Let's see what sticks is their attitude. They filmed this in summer back in 2021. So that's quite a while ago. Don't know what happened. Took almost 3 years for this drama to go through all the post-production and whatever it is now. It has just finished airing like a couple of hours ago before I sat down making this video. 24 episodes, cutting right in the half point because we have the current thing about unless weird things happen, you're not supposed to exceed the limit of 40 episodes. The second half, when it's gonna show up, nobody knows. They haven't said anything about it. It just ends with the end of a major battle. It makes sense. I think this is the best they can do for the first part and season. Literally nobody is watching it, okay? I can't find anybody that's interested in it. On Douban, it doesn't have a rating. Like up to this point, at least I've just checked. It's so 3 years old. Over those 3 years, we've had quite a lot of development for these three main lead actors. Zhang Min'en had a couple of episodes of not necessarily house collapsing, but he's not like the most reputable person now in Dramaland. Liu Yuning did climb up quite a bit from back then to now in terms of his popularity, but also he's, he's now being because of Journey of Love and all the mess that the thing he needs to get over is like he's gonna be constantly called ugly by everybody in drama review land, which unfortunately people just feast on that. And then Yang Xuwen, he has managed to hook onto the IP, Strange Tales of Tang Dynasty, that's doing a lot better than other period dramas he's been in. So they're all at different places in their career. And this is a little bit too old. So if you go and watch his drama with your impression of these three guys, what they are like now, you really can tell it's been 3 years. Even the physical appearance of them slightly changed and moved on in time. It's quite interesting. It's like a time capsule. Now going back to the story itself, it is that type of story, Lord of the Rings / Game of Thrones. It's political powers, it's a group of young men growing up and eventually becoming the next round of ruler of that big continent. And it's focused on these three guys who are not blood related. Eldest is Liu Yuning's character, and then Zhang Min'en's character, and then Yang Xuwen plays the youngest. And they're the three brothers without blood tie, but very close. And the book is that big political saga of them in their different positions, and eventually who ends up where. One of them will become the future ruler of this whole continent that unified everybody that previously wasn't, and he will become the greatest king. I'm not gonna tell you who they are. Yeah, not spoiling it for you. And then the other two guys will be dead. Okay. In the drama, right from the beginning, it sets up the comparison group of the three main characters and their elders, so one generation above them. And that also is made up with three guys who are very similarly structured in terms of their military, political, even like ruling class relationship. And those were three Thai brothers who eventually also ended up in a situation where two are dead and one is left, and it's all because of the political things going on. So you will see basically the younger generation in a way tragically repeat older generation's fate in the big political saga of the Game of Thrones plus a little bit magic and a lot of battles. That's what the story is about. I have watched all 24 episodes, and this is produced by iQIYI as the platform. It also has a couple of other production companies that are quite familiar. Paradrama land production in Chinese dramaland, if you watch a lot of Chinese dramas. One of them is Linghe, which produced Ultimate Note. But as the story goes on, unfortunately, it didn't work as well as Ultimate Note in terms of making the story more and more engaging and interesting. I think it comes with, first, this IP is not so well known for bigger demographics as the original IP of the Notebook. Therefore, if you know nothing, it's really hard for it to get into this drama. And this drama failed at one significant thing, which is introducing you to the world setting, character setting, power setting, how the storyteller will help you, guide you to understand what you're looking at. What's the worldview? What's the nature of different races? And where are we in the whole world setting, right? This drama doesn't bother to introduce even the map. You have no idea. I think I'm really good at following stuff, but by the end of 24 episodes, all right, I'm still like, okay, I'll take it, but I still have no idea actually what you're talking about. I'm just gonna go with it. So this is very unfriendly to people who do not know the anime or the original novel. Apart from that, the three actors, some people don't like them, so they would not watch their dramas. For people who don't care about that, it's also hard for them to get into this drama because they don't know where they are. But this drama, like I said, it's not without its merits. The three leads are doing good enough performances. I wouldn't say they're the best or outstanding out there, but it doesn't create a problem. The older guys are really fantastic. Court scenes are actually one of the better ones I've seen recently compared to every other fictional period dramas that somehow includes a little bit of the court politics. Still though, it's not so good because you have no idea about the background story. Even if they're really good at acting and great in that one scene and you kind of get it, but then you lack the background knowledge, so you don't quite know how deep the things go. Another thing, after watching the 24 episodes, really bothered me is the so-called female lead character. I have no idea about in book what she's like, but in drama, she's such an annoying character. She's just from day one till the last moment, pretty much troublemaking, annoying. Like there's no reason for audiences to root for her in any sense. And she's constantly just creating trouble unnecessarily. Why are you here? Can you just like not show up? It'll make the story a lot better. Another failed creation of a female character. And then the story, take a snapshot of any moment, you may see something great, but then when you link them together, it doesn't flow. And it pretty much stays that way from episode 1 to episode 24. I'm actually really surprised by the fact that I managed to stick through it, because a lot of people drop out. At least I asked around. Most people like watch a couple of episodes, they're like, well, we don't know what we're watching. And the drama doesn't even bother to explain, and we don't have the patience. And it's not like the best performance out there to hook me onto it. Therefore, we quit. Most people quit. So nobody's watching this drama, and it finished airing. And somehow I did. And I just feel I can tell how much effort actually went into shooting this drama. And by no means it's been treated lightly by the people who created it. They really want to make a good story. There's a lot of work that went into it. But I think from script level, this is a hugely troubled story that even if you just read the text, it's unlikely to make it attractive for anybody to keep reading. So it's on text level, quite failed creation of storytelling. I am worried about the fact that when they decide to release the second half, by that time, whenever that is, whether I still remember anything of the first half. That's it. My two review on two just finished airdropped iQIYI drama that are not related to each other by any means to help you decide whether you should invest your precious time. We're at mid-March 2024. Still haven't had one explosive Chinese dramas up to this point. I'm so disappointed. Last year we've already had like 2 or 3. The universe is running against my channel, basically not providing good enough stuff to talk about on my channel. Maybe the only thing that's gonna make everybody talk about a Chinese IP will be the coming Netflix 3-body. I already foresee a lot of funny things that's gonna happen on China's internet when the drama airs, and people are gonna tear it apart and laugh at ridiculous setups of like making people kiss in the original story. You can't even imagine that could happen between the characters. Maybe that would be actually more interesting. Like it's not Chinese drama, but it is type of situation. If it's worth talking about or ranting about, I'll talk about it instead of having nothing happening. Because right now, Chinese drama land is so boring. I haven't had this long period of boringness of Chinese dramas since I started this channel. Thank you for sticking with me though, with my channel and with Avenue X. I hope you're doing well. That's where it matters. Please take care. I'll see you in my next video. Meanwhile, live long and happy drama watching.